So just in order not to lose too much time, I would say hello, everyone, and welcome to the webinar Access to Life Science, discover the home of biotech and the place to be for life science startups as part of the Startup Germany tour. My name is Simone Hermann, and I'm responsible for innovation, industry, and international networks at the Chamber of Industry and Commerce in Dortmund. And on behalf of the organizers here in this chamber, I'm happy to welcome all of you to today's webinar, which gives you a closer insight into your opportunities as an international startup in the field of life science. With our Startup Germany tour, we would like to introduce you to one of the most dynamic and attractive business locations in Germany. This is North Rhine-Westphalia. And in addition to that, we want to prepare you for a successful engagement here in our region. Therefore, we offer you an exciting webinar program consisting of 10 different topics over the next few weeks. Just another 1 or 2 weeks still lasting. This one is number 6 already. So there's another 4 more interesting topics to come during the next days. For example, tomorrow it's going to be green tech, and the day after tomorrow on Thursday it's industrial solutions. And for those who don't know or not familiar with the program yet, you'll find the link in the chat in a little while it's running. The Startup Germany tour is organized by the Chambers of Industry and Commerce in North Rhine-Westphalia, with a special commitment of the chamber in the Ruhr area, chambers and in the Ruhr area, plus the one in Düsseldorf. And the tour is supported by some important partners like the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Industry and Climate Action and Energy of the state of North Rhine-Westphalia and NRW Global Business, which are your hosts today too. Furthermore, it's NRW Bank and Ernst & Young. Just to give you a short overview, I guess I can't change the slide. No, I can't change it. At the Chambers in North Rhine-Westphalia, we are your central point of contact for many topics with which you can start your business in NRW, and we are at the same time your bridge to other institutions that can help you as well. Just in order to give you a quick overview you see here in this list, you just get in touch with these chambers and we'll connect you to the right people for advice to set up a company or for funding and finance, or if you got anything with customs or foreign trade legislation. These chambers, they have 1.2 million member companies. So this is a good chance to get in touch with companies here in this region. And also we got good connections to the chambers in abroad, which represent the region in other countries, and we got intensive cooperations with other partners of the startup ecosystem. If you follow all this tour, you get a lot of information about all the opportunities you have in the region North Rhine-Westphalia. Now, not to waste too much time listening to me talking, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Jasmin Schubert, who's Senior Project Manager at NRW, and will show you the life science landscape within this federal state. Ms. Schubert, it's your digital stage now for 15 minutes.
Yeah, thank you so much. Then I will start to share my screen. Yeah. So let's start. Okay, you should be seeing my screen by now. Yeah, so thank you so much for the kind introduction. And yes, I would like to give you an overview about the life science scene within North Rhine-Westphalia. And yeah, before I start in more detail about BioNRW, what we do, I of course give you the introduction to the life science scene within North Rhine-Westphalia. So normally we always show a nice video which introduces the life science scene in North Rhine-Westphalia, but since we have a webinar and I don't know how good your upload and download is, I advise you for later, maybe you just scan this QR code, and later I will also put in the chat the link to this video, because in Germany we have this kind of phrase saying a picture says more than 1,000 words. So I think it's nice maybe after the webinar if you just watch the video, and then you get also some images or more images about the life science scene within North Rhine-Westphalia. But to start now, I would like to show you the map of North Rhine-Westphalia. If you have followed some of the other webinars before, you know that North Rhine-Westphalia is one of the federal states which lies more on the western part of Germany, and with its geographic location, it lies really in the center of Europe. So you can also say it's within the heart of Europe. And NRW Global Business also, who presented before on some webinars, they also have the slogan that NRW is the heartbeat of Europe and of Germany, of course. And it's because it's the economic powerhouse of Germany. And why is this? Maybe let me just say a few words about it. Historically, why it's so important for the life science, or why we have such a good life science in here, is actually because you can see here on the map we have the Rhine and the Ruhr River, and in former times they were very important to transport goods, especially heavy goods, and which is important for then also the heavy industry. And historically we also had a very good geographic location because we have the coal area around here and also here. And of course, for heavy industry in the past, you also needed a lot of energy. That's why, or some reasons why, we had a very strong and still have the most powerful chemical industry in North Rhine-Westphalia within Germany. And of course, this then also followed by, if the chemical industry here, by pharmaceutical industry and life science. And of course, if you have such a good location already for the chemical industry and pharmaceutical industry, you also need a lot of workforce who works for those companies and industry. And that's also why we have then a flourish landscape of universities located here. And they're not only located here along the Rhine and Ruhr, but we also have Aachen, Jülich, where we have a lot of research centers and great universities, also in Münster and Bielefeld, and of course also industry. And it's very attractive then for workforce also to come here, not only because of the universities and the possibility to work, but also about the location, the geographic location, because within a day's journey you can reach 160 million people from the capital of Düsseldorf. So it's really a place to be, and not only for the life science. And that's also represented the economic powerhouse of Germany, which North Rhine-Westphalia is, because 20% of Germany's GDP is produced here. And now we want to look a little bit more deeper into the life science scene. I mean, here on the slide, you can already see this is a map for the biotechnology companies active. Some are already named here, and just where we have some hotspots of biotechnology, but let's really look also into the life science location. So in general, we have more than 20% of foreign companies in Germany are based within North Rhine-Westphalia, and actually more than 500 life science companies. And here down you can see a selection of some big names actually from the pharmaceutical industry, but also from the chemical industry, or the medtech industry if you want, and the biotech industry, of course, located here. And here on the right you can also see, I mean, this is a little bit older slide, so on one of the other slides you will see I updated the numbers a little bit, but they're still in this range. So we have more than 20,000 foreign companies within North Rhine-Westphalia, and you can see where are they from. So it's a great location for the life science. And then I mentioned already, so for the academia, it's also a great area, because we have more than 50 research institutions in life science located within North Rhine-Westphalia, which is actually the densest academic network in within Europe. And this is actually because we don't only have like universities, but also other research institutions, which I will highlight on the next slide. And additionally, we have more than 50 clusters of excellence also located within North Rhine-Westphalia, and they work on different topics from robotics to crop science over to energy. So, and for example, also imaging. So really different clusters of excellence within the life science scene. And here, as just a selection, of course, I cannot put all the great research organizations we have within life science within North Rhine-Westphalia. But what you can see is a selection of some great names of universities which we have here, and also later Dr. Schwarz from Numafern will present. He is actually a spin-off of the Heinrich Heine University of Düsseldorf. We have Helmholtz Association located within North Rhine-Westphalia from the Forschungszentrum Jülich, which has around 6,000 employees, so is really big. It's actually the biggest research organization within Germany, headcount-wise, but also others. So we have Max Planck Society, Leibniz Association, and Fraunhofer Society as well, all located within North Rhine-Westphalia. And as I said, it's just a selection, and you can see on very different topics from diabetes to interactive materials, biology of aging. So really different topics are addressed within North Rhine-Westphalia. And in addition, of course, to the academic scene, we also have life science incubators and technology parks, where especially startups, spin-offs from universities, then when they grow and they need more space and separate a little bit from university, find their places. And there actually we have 155 licensed companies which are located in 25 incubators and technology centers, which are also highlighted here on that map. And yeah, I also wanted to highlight this again. So I mean, some of the companies you already saw on the slide before, but what I really wanted to emphasize again is the pharmaceutical and chemical industry location for the life science we have in North Rhine-Westphalia, very international location, and that's why I added here some other companies as well, and that 25% of all foreign direct investments actually go into North Rhine-Westphalia. And here I said, so this is a more precise number, so it's rather like 22,000 foreign companies, which represent 20% of all of Germany foreign companies are actually located in North Rhine-Westphalia. And yeah, again, just some more names you might know, which I didn't have on the other slide, like Lanxess, Syngenta, BASF, Pfeiffer and Langen, Catalent, they all, Evotech, they all have offices and are located in North Rhine-Westphalia, or for example, also Kiagen, which is also a spin-off of the University of Düsseldorf and is nowadays a world-known company within the life science scene. And yeah, if you need further information about the life science scene in North Rhine-Westphalia, of course you can contact us, so BioNRW, and now I would tell you why. So what is BioNRW doing? So since 2008, we act on behalf of the Ministry of Economic Affairs, Industry, Climate Action and Energy of the state of North Rhine-Westphalia. And we're the official network for biotechnology and life science, or especially a bioeconomy. And we act as an umbrella organization and as a service provider. So if you have a question on biotechnology or bioeconomy, you're welcome to contact us. What do we offer? So in cooperation with the state, local and regional networks, we connect entrepreneurs, scientists, investors, and the public, so people like you. And that's also why I present today, because we also promote at a state, national, and international level, North Rhine-Westphalian life science scene. We conduct local marketing, organize networking events, and support SMEs and startups in various ways. So we have publications which you can download on our homepage, or we also have a dedicated homepage for bioeconomy, where you can find information, companies, and more information about the region. And just to say, we have two focus areas, one for the biopharmaceutical, biotechnology, and one for the bioeconomy, including the industrial biotechnology and bioeconomy as well. Yeah, just to highlight a little bit what kind of our work looks. So for international, we go to international exhibitions. So you might see us on some of the US exhibitions or Asia exhibitions, coming with North Rhine-Westphalian partners. and we support then market access. I would say for first contact in both directions, very often in support with NRW Global Business. Yeah, and next to the workshops, symposium, publications, which we publish and organize, we also have a financing round, the NRW Business Angel Network in Congress. So the Congress down here just has happened. It's once per year, but maybe for the Business Angels Network, that can be interesting to you. So of course, we support North Rhine-Westphalian companies to get access to investments, but we also fill that up with international companies. So if you're looking for finance and you're interested in North Rhine-Westphalia as a location, either to start your business here or for collaboration partners, business angels, and so on, please contact us, and we're happy to get you in contact with our North Rhine-Westphalian international investors. Yeah, and we're providing information and support the local government. And as one last slide, I said we act as an umbrella organization. So we represent also this very local networks, which you can find here, which then work for a very certain region within North Rhine-Westphalia. So if you want to find out more about those networks, please contact us as well. And I also just wanted to mention there are several other networks as well supported by the local government of North Rhine-Westphalia, which have maybe a slightly different focus. So we have, for example, Medizin NRW, or also a network on the chemical industry. So if you're looking for further contacts, please feel free to contact us, and then we provide you. If we are not the right person to ask, we will give you the information and the contact to the right person. And with this, I would already like to stop. As I said, please contact us. You can see down here our telephone number, my email address. So please, if you have any questions, contact us or any other of the team of BioNRW. And yeah, with this, I would like to say thank you. And I guess for questions, we will do that later in the Q&A session. And yeah, with this, it's my pleasure to hand over to Yuri Mesmoudi, who is today, yeah, no, you cannot see my screen any longer. That's good. I just make that down. Yeah. So it's my pleasure to introduce Yuri Mesmoudi. He had several executive roles before he joined Taros Chemicals GmbH und Co. KG, and not only within North Rhine-Westphalia, but also outside. So I'm happy that you're here and that you will now learn more about Taros Chemicals GmbH, and yeah, maybe also a little bit what North Rhine-Westphalia has to offer. Thank you.
Oh, very good, Yasmin. Thanks a lot for this kind introduction, and to the team of BioNRA for giving us from Taros Chemicals and myself, of course, the opportunity to speak. I guess I have roughly 15 minutes to present a little bit who we are, what we do, and why we are here in Dortmund. So I'm happy to do this, and I will try to share my screen right away. I hope this works. Just let me know if you can see it.
Yes, we can see
Perfect.
it.
Does it work properly? So, oh, excellent. Thank you very much. So, yes, I'd like already to relate to Yasmin, because some 25 years ago, we, Taros Chemicals, as a company, we were a startup ourselves when we came here, and we were looking when this company was created back in 1999. Our founder, Dr. Dimitrios Sales, he looked for a place somewhere in Germany where he could really incept his company, and he went to many places at the time, back in the early 2000s. This was many locations in Germany for biotech companies were suitable, but finally the city of Dortmund and the land of North Rhine-Westphalia were very warm-hearted and invited him to come here and to become one of the startups here in the company. So this is the reason why we are in Dortmund. And as you can see from the slides, and I'm going to talk to you about the Taros Chemicals Dortmund hub, because as a company we do have also operations in India, which we funded later on. But today we are with our headquarters here in Dortmund, and you can see we started with about 3 people, so it's really a startup back in 1999, and we moved from university labs in Marburg University, which is another Bundesland, here to North Rhine-Westphalia, and we're very well and heartily welcome here in the city of Dortmund. And this city of Dortmund helped us a lot in establishing, and helped us with infrastructure, and helped us with good renting conditions. As you may know, chemistry, synthetic chemistry, which is what we do, requires a lot of infrastructure, which a startup normally could not afford right ahead. So it was good that here the people that were in charge at the time lent us a helping hand to get us onboarded with 2 small labs. And you can see from this development over time until almost this year, 2024, is not quite up to date. We're about 60 people now that we hired and developed here over time. So it's very good. And from the pictures, I can show you that, of course, we gave things back to the community here. So very early on, we were also, once we were established as a company, we were giving back some local talent sponsoring at the University of Dortmund here. So we had some prizes for medicinal chemistry talents that we sponsored in order to give something back, and to have, of course, a potential workforce joining Taros. You can see also from this picture here that we had our 15th anniversary here. So it was for us a very excellent celebration. At the time, the mayor of Dortmund was here, and the responsibles from the site as well, and some ministers also. So they celebrated the fact that Taros, as a chemistry company serving the biotech markets, had a good success. And a couple of years ago, we were strong enough and courageous enough to also spin out a new, or at least 2 new. On this slide you can see 1, but we have 2 spin out companies as startups again from our activities. So this is very nice for this area. That shows the dynamism when you come to NRW as a location, as a geographic area, as well as, of course, to the city of Dortmund itself. As Jasmin showed you on the slide, there's a couple of hubs, but Dortmund is a vibrant one as well. And the last slide here on this picture, you can see that has been incepted also with the help of BioNRW and the local authorities here, what we call the Drug Discovery Hub Dortmund. So for younger and for startup companies that would like to thrive in this area, this is a good anchor point to develop your activities, to come here, to talk to these people, to talk to the scientists, to talk to us in order to get your idea on the ground. A little bit more on Taros itself. So we are what we call a custom research organization. So we conduct chemistry, medicinal chemistry, biochemistry, performance chemicals research on behalf of third parties. So we are a contractor. And here, once again, you can see our KPIs. So of course, we were founded in 1999. Today, we're about 65 people here in Dortmund, and another 50 in India. And our degree of PhD chemists is very high. So we are an R&D driven company with very, I would say, depth in chemistry expertise. From the business areas, we cover, as I just mentioned, the drug discovery. So whatever goes with hit and lead finding up to the preclinical phase is services we can cover, as well as on the right-hand side, what we call the performance chemicals, where since a couple of months now, we have a lot of startup companies that are in the green tech, deep tech, or climate tech area that are looking for services in order to grow their business, in order to grow their chemistry, in order to grow their volumes of material they need to provide to their customers, or also to their venture capitalist. Milestones meeting is here the key word. So this is something that started quite a few months ago, and we are happy that we can provide and help them out. So there are a few chemistry startups here in North Rhine-Westphalia, but our reach, of course, you would understand, is global one. So we are serving the global market with this. As I just mentioned, we are excelling in small molecule drug discovery, so that's what we do. And for those who know a little bit about drug discovery and how that works, I'm not going to talk you through all of this, but you see that here we do have at Taros whatever you need in order to run your drug discovery projects on small molecules. We are not going to do biologics. We do small molecules, so it's really chemistry what we do. From the synthetic chemistry, the medicinal chemistry, we do have our own library that you can screen. So many startups in Europe rely on our screening compounds in order to find some hits from their proteins maybe they have or their targets. So this is interesting for them. Of course, we do have the infrastructure here to analyze and purify molecules to the degree needed. We do have our own computational chemistry to do, of course, the docking simulations and the pharmacophores that is needed if our clients do not have in-house themselves. And this is a bit of the chemistry we would run currently for our clients. Of course, a bit more for chemistry. So I skipped a little bit on the very beginning, my introduction. So I'm not a chemist by training, but I'm heading the commercial development of the company, the business development. So I know a little bit on chemistry, of course, but any question that goes very much deep into a specific project or specific challenge, I would bring my team in, who are all PhD chemists, to discuss with the clients. So this is the broad spectrum of what you would expect from a company like us, providing many varieties of chemistry, which today is needed in modern drug discovery. This is what we can do. As I mentioned before, we have our own proprietary library that our clients can screen on whatever they need. So I'm going to skip this quickly. This is very technical information. Here, for those who know a little bit about the distribution and the drug-like compounds we have in our library, which is very important, particularly for biotech startups that do not have any clue on chemistry but are very strong on biology. They would need a partner like us to help them out and to bring this on their ID further down the road and to identify molecules that can go into a lead development campaign. On our hand, I mentioned it briefly, we have our performance chemicals unit, and this one is really about making molecules, making compounds large, going to scale. So you would understand that in a lab, in a traditional lab, you don't go beyond very much the 500 gram or kilogram, but we do have our operations in India, as I mentioned before, that can help seamlessly develop quantities of molecules into very large scale. We talk here 1 ton and beyond of material that we can handle to our clients as a one-stop shop. And this is very useful for the companies that work in the performance chemistry industry, more than in the classical, I would say, pharmaceutical industry. So we do route scouting, we do process development, we do, of course, synthesis of specific impurities if you have to qualify your material, if you have to validate your material, if you think of going into a regulated process. This is very important that we can provide this to our clients. And of course, as I mentioned before, very often when you develop your compounds, there's one point in time where you need to leave the lab, the classic lab infrastructure, and really go for production. And many projects might struggle at this point in time when you have to hand over to somebody else. This is, of course, what our clients told us before. So they're very happy that we can handle all of that from the very early drug discovery, from the literature research up to the hundreds of kgs of material from one hand and one partner like Taros here in Germany. So our site is located in Hyderabad. This is the kilogram site. It's a very dynamic area of drug discovery in India. So we take advantage of our own site over there. So this is our colleagues working on those projects. That's not a third party. So that's very useful to speed up the process and have everything in hand end to end for our clients. And of course, I'm skipping this. So we do scale up very large amounts of quantities and of vessels, of course, we can provide to our clients. And this maybe the last slide is very important for those in the auditorium that are looking into green chemistry, circular chemistry. As I mentioned before, there's a lot of requests we receive from all over the world, be it startups, be it universities, be it scientific organizations that really need to go out of their own lab and step into some commercial and professional kind of volumes and quantities, and they they figure out that there's not that many companies able of helping them with the infrastructure, with the project planning, with the execution, with providing raw materials at large scale that would be needed for samples that would be needed for really hundreds of kgs, sorry, of materials. So this is something that is very interesting for those companies and organizations as startups to come see us and then discuss how we can help them make their venture capital or private equity or financing story come true by providing the material they need to showcase that, of course, their brilliant idea really works. So I'm going to go quickly further. In a nutshell, and I think I'm going to be pretty much in time, this is what you get when you come to Taurus. You remember, we started as a startup here in Dortmund with 3 people. Now we have established a nice track with the help, of course, of the people from BioNRW, that's for sure. And when you come to Taurus, you can have what I say, a one-stop shop from the early research, from the literature, from the patent research, up to supply of material to your factory, to your bench, to your production, whatever is needed, and everything in between. So this is what you get with Taurus. And there's one very important point, particularly for the biotechs and for the startups in the green or in the deep tech, is that all the IP that is generated while we work on their behalf belongs to the IP holder, so to our client. We do not retain anything since we are a full service provider, and this is exactly our principle of work. So thank you very much for the moment. So if there's any question, I think you can discuss later on. You can send me an email, or you can relate to Yasmin, Simone, and of course Benedict, if after my presentation you may have some specific questions, deeper questions you would like to discuss. My team and I, we're here to take any questions later on. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yuri. Very nice presentation. And yeah, we later have 10 minutes Q&A at the end. So if you have questions, you can, of course, ask them. And this is my pleasure now to introduce Dr. Christian Schwarz. He's the CEO and co-founder of Numaferm, which I mentioned already is actually a spin-off of the Heinrich Heine University here at Düsseldorf. And as far as I know, Numaferm was officially founded in 2017. And actually it was, Dr. Schwarz's PhD project and innovation he developed to start the company, but I guess he will explain more. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Yasmin. It's a pleasure to be here. At the beginning, do you hear me well? Do you see my slides? Is everything on green or?
Yes, everything's good. Yes.
Super. Yeah, as I mentioned, it's a pleasure to being here. Thanks for considering me representing Numaferm here at this meeting. As Yasmin already said, we are originally coming from Düsseldorf. Indeed, at least the initial technologies we used much less mature than nowadays. Really, the early phases were coming from my PhD times. So I studied biochemistry in Düsseldorf, and I received my PhD also there. I finished my PhD in 2012, so more than 10 years already ago. And yeah, we're still in Düsseldorf. We somehow managed to leave the university since a couple of years, being financed by venture capital and business angel money. And I think we are now in this position that we are established on the market. And you see here our company logo, Numaferm, and we call us the peptine company. And let me introduce you a little bit to the frame peptine. I wasn't entirely sure how technical I should be on the presentation, so please be kind with me when there are some words that might be a little bit too specific. I just didn't know, and I didn't want to delete everything in case there are some interested biochemists in this room. So I try to guide you anyhow through the slides without needing so much technical background. Here you see the first slide. So as I mentioned, and Yasmin already mentioned, we are located in Düsseldorf. Actually, we're very close, located next to BioNRW. So you see here the building where we are located in the 3rd floor and the 1st floor. And when we are looking out of our lab on the other side in this building, then we see sometimes Jasmine running around in her office. So we are really close to BioNRW, and it's a very nice location here. As you see here, this nice building, and it's actually only 2 kilometers away from Düsseldorf downtown. You see here the University of Düsseldorf and the hospital, the University Hospital, here where I did my PhD as well. So it's very nice located, and yeah, we are really happy to be here, part of this community in the Life Science Center in Düsseldorf, and also, of course, in NRW. It's, I think, a very nice place to be. Having said that, so we are a team of roughly 30 people being located here, and we work on peptines. And just see, I will explain this word on the next slide. So before I do so, we are a solution providing company. When people work on peptides and proteins or peptines, they typically ask themselves once in their developments, how can I produce these peptides or proteins or peptines very pure and very cost efficient? And then hopefully they get information that Numerfirm exists, and then they come to us. They mention to us this molecules, this peptide or protein or peptine, and then we start our work. By training our technology, we call that NumerSwitch. It's a so-called biochemical production platform, and we train it in such a way that we produce these molecules highly pure, super efficient for our partners. So we are also a company doing services for our clients as TAROS, as before. At the end, we have developed a production process for our clients for peptides and proteins, and also, on top of that, we manage the manufacturing of the molecules for different kind of usage. For example, for pharmaceutical applications where people produce based on these molecules, injectables or pills. And you see here a lot of pharma clients that we eventually work with together that do such stuff. We also work with clients from different markets like veterinary pharma that are developing drugs for animals, so to say. You see also some logos from cosmetic applications. So typically here they try to use peptides or proteins to prevent aging or wrinkling. You see other logos here that you might bring in context with agriculture. So biologics like peptides and proteins get more and more used in the agro sector to treat, for example, soil or plants as pesticides, biopesticides. So these are where we around pharma, cosmetic, and agro. And yeah, we do our job in Düsseldorf. It's a roughly 1,000 square meter facility. And we are an ISO certified company. And yeah, the people, when they work with us, get a very quick service, a super high purity of the candidates, increasing the safetiness of their products at the end, and a super efficient process. That's here on the right side, you see our C-level team and also our team working here. That's who we are, yeah, right? That's our company. Now to the word peptines. Maybe you know peptides and proteins. These are common words in the technical area. We created a mixture of that, peptide plus proteins, because in contrast to other companies that can produce either peptides or proteins, we've developed this biochemical production platform that can produce both, and also the intermediate space between these two worlds. This makes us unique. We are the only company that can produce both in the intermediate space. That's why we have created this word, peptines, being a mixture of both worlds. And why we do so has to do with our technology. It's very unique and patent protected technology, as I mentioned, coming originally from the University of Düsseldorf. And sorry for that now, yeah, it's very technical. We can share the slides with you, so you can read about that afterwards if you're interested. Just let me know, I can share that with you. So forget about this text now. I keep it very brief. So we have a biochemical production platform, and at the end, what is described here is our new approach, how we can use biocatalysts or microbes to produce very quickly highly pure peptides and proteins. So that's what's described here in a technical aspect. And this is our core discriminator compared to competitors, this technology. And to give you an idea about how such projects we operate with our clients look like, here's an overview. So typically we do 3 phases in such projects. First phase is called cell line development. Between us, we could call it a kind of feasibility study, lasting roughly a month. So then we get these peptide or protein from our partners and we show them how good our technology works. Then we do a next step. It's a so-called process development step where we scale up and deliver initial material for studies from our clients, so toxicity studies or functionality studies. And then we scale up for pharma-grade productions or kilogram productions for field trials, agro applications, and so on. And this takes roughly overall below a year, which sounds very long, but in this context we are operating, it's relatively quick. So by our platform, we can really develop quickly for what we do, production processes for peptides and proteins. And that's what our clients like because they want to get to commercial samples quickly. Since we are using microbes to produce peptides and proteins, we use at the end a ribosome. So the ribosome in cells is the part where proteins and peptides are synthesized. Yeah, the amino acids are coupled together at the ribosome. And ribosomes use natural amino acids. And there are roughly 20 amino acids around in the world. So you can connect 20 different amino acids to a chain building then the peptide or protein. When we talk about peptides, so very small proteins, they are typically used by chemical synthesis. And when you use chemical synthesis and not the ribosome, you can couple whatever kind of amino acid you want together. So we call that non-natural amino acids as well. We have new strategies, very unique strategies, where we can now use ribosomes also to include some non-natural amino acids. That's only a specific gimmick we can bring on the table to our clients. This is super technical now. You can have the slides. This explains you that we can really produce target independently molecules, very complex molecules, very quickly at highest purity grades, very quick and super cost efficient, to sum it up. We are a service company, as described before. We have developed also a product we now commercialize, an enzyme, or most precisely a protease. We call that NumaCut TEF protease, and it's really a unique enzyme that we use internally as part of our NumaSwitch biochemical production platform, because we needed it. We developed that with a lot of partners. It was very expensive. We developed that to use it in-house for our platform. But since we're using that, people in the world, R&D people, scientists, and so on, they like it a lot when we talk with them about it. So we thought maybe it's smart to make a product of that, and we did. So we are a service company, but we have one product that we sell. It's this one here. Yes, just to show again a little bit pictures out of our lab. So we do everything in-house, molecular biology, fermentation, analytics, purification. All this stuff is done at Numerfirm here, as I mentioned, in floor 3 and 1. And yeah, we were incorporated as company in 2017. And since then, I think we did a lot of things that were not so successful, but also some things that were successful. Here I mentioned a few. So we went in license agreements, for example, with Soides, a big company. We have first partnerships with, at the end, competitors who like our technology. So we try to bring a good cooperation with them together to increase our market access. And also we have really fantastic feedback from many, many clients nowadays. So it's really nice to hear how good our technology helps them to solve whatever kind of issues. And with that, I'm done with the presentation. I'm open for questions. I think at the end, Yasmin said, but I'm happy to take questions. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you, Christian. Now from my side, because we are at the end already. So this is the Q&A phase. So I'd like to ask all participants, I can't see anything in the chat yet, but in case you got any questions to Yuri, to Yasmin, to Christian, just don't hesitate to ask something. Is there anything you'd like to know? Or was it too technically?
Maybe I can ask then a question to Yuri and to Christian. I mean, you're both located in North Rhine-Westphalia, And since this is a webinar to attract also other startups to North Rhine-Westphalia, I would like to ask you both to say maybe one or two few words. What is unique about North Rhine-Westphalia in your perspective? Why it's either good to be with your company in North Rhine-Westphalia, or that, yeah, you grow from North Rhine-Westphalia abroad?
So, yeah, maybe thank you for the good question, Yasmin. I think this is from our side is a very clear word. So I'm not stemming natively from this area. I'm from southern part of Germany, but what I can say, being here for now more than 15 years, is these guys in North Rhine-Westphalia, they get things done, right? So they don't speak much. You go to them, you just explain your challenge, your problem, and they go about finding solutions and deliver. Yeah, they're not going to build you a golden, I would say, palace or whatever, but they're going to do something, right? They're going to help, they're going to use their network, they're going to go about and really understanding how they can help you to make the next step, and maybe the step further than the next step, and really deliver solutions and connect you with people you might not know when you come fresh to this area and you have no idea whom to call. So this is something that I can also claim. What my colleague Dimitrios, who came here also as a foreigner, right? He's not from North Rhine-Westphalia area, and he really found, and he dismissed offers he had also from the southern part of Germany in bringing his company, because the people here were hot, very warm, open-minded, practical, and say, let's do it. Yeah, we want to have you here. So what is it, what you need? We cannot promise golden things, but this is what we have, but we're going to provide you right away. So in a few words, this is why we are here.
Great, great.
Yeah, maybe to add from my perspective, I think there are many reasons, and I stop after you tell me to stop, because I could, of course, talk a little bit too long. I think very good for startup companies is a funding situation in NRW in particular, because there are a lot of proposals out in the context of replacing coal in this area. So we really talk about billions of euros that are available for funding innovative concepts. Just recently, starting I think in the last year, right? So there are a lot of funding opportunities. I have to say, if you think about biotech and life science, typically you think about Boston, yeah, or maybe San Diego or US. Maybe Israel, so hotspot areas, also Munich, maybe in Germany. But I have to say, I've been to all of them. I don't think that we are worse at all. I think maybe even better, because when you have in mind the density of education and academia in NRW, it's better than everywhere in the world. You have so many cultural differences in NRW. In Boston, it's always the same. Business people, rich people, you can't afford to live there. In NRW, you have everything. Everything. You can live wherever you like, in the green field, in the big city. It's so diverse. I think that's also a strength. You have very well-educated people in NRW, because our education system is for free compared to in other cities. Just to mention a few advantages from NRW. So I think it's a very good environment to grow a business and to build a business and to grow a business.
Yeah, great. Great answers from both of you. I like to hear that.
You could always already feel proud being a part of this.
Yes.
From my former time from a technology center in Dortmund, I know the story of Taros quite well, because I just remember when they moved in the first part of the biomedicine center with the laboratories there.
So you recall we started with only 2 labs, little labs. Now we have taken over the whole building, and
Yeah.
of course we feel well. That's fine, and that this was made
Amazing.
possible, of course. And it is not, as I mentioned before, it's not easy to find, a particular case, chemistry infrastructure, which is very expensive infrastructure. So it's not that easy to find and to grow, of course. Yeah. So that's we have good partners here. We can just pick up the phone and say, guys, that's what we need. Can you help us? Is there any good idea you can provide us with? So it's really nice people, I could say, right?
Very good to hear. Still nobody, or maybe those people are too shy to ask questions. I don't know.
But as far as I understood, if someone requires the slides, right, Simone, we can just
No
they can
problem.
contact us three or over you, IHK, or the
Yeah.
Startup Germany tour, right? They can contact us, and we're happy to share the slides, or if questions come up afterwards.
Yeah, they might ask any of you and also others here at the chamber.
Yes, exactly.
Don't hesitate to get back to us. We'll give you the presentations then afterwards if you want to just write a short mail, and then you have
Yeah. And don't forget to watch the video about the life science scene in North Rhine-Westphalia. And maybe Benedict, I think I can only send the link to the discussion persons, but not to the whole team. If you maybe can send it to the chat, would be great. And otherwise, I can just recommend go to YouTube, BioNRW, and then on our image video, there you can see the different cities and life science areas within North Rhine-Westphalia to make some yeah, advertisement for the region. Yeah. Yeah. Good.
Yeah. If nobody has a question anymore, then I would like to thank you for giving us these presentations and an overview
Pleasure.
about all this fabulous scene here in North Rhine-Westphalia for life sciences.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you
Thank you
and
so much.
goodbye, to
Talk to you
everybody.
very soon. Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye to
All the
everyone.
best to you. Bye. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.